Hey guys, recently saw a patch request to make the patch from Closer by Amanda Cook off of A Brave New World. So we're going to go ahead and build that today in Sylenth. It's a pretty basic patch, so even though it's in Sylenth, you should be able to translate it over to Massive or ES2, Omnisphere, any of the other software synths that are out there right now. This is what your final product is going to sound like. Alright, initially I had wanted to walk you through building the patch from the ground up, but that video took a little bit longer than I had wanted, so I'm just going to walk you through the settings that I have in Sylenth to get you to that sound. Alright, you're going to start it off by initialing your preset there, and we're going to turn our polyphony up. I've got mine at 8. And then your first oscillator is going to be a sawtooth wave with 6 voices. Detune it a little bit, 2.65 is what I have mine at. Full stereo width, panned up the middle, and then our fine tuning, we're going to bring it down just a little bit to separate it from our second oscillator. Our second oscillator is also going to be a sawtooth wave with 6 voices. We'll detune it a little bit more than the first oscillator. Full stereo, panned up the middle again, and our fine tuning, we're actually going to go sharp on this one, and that'll create some nice separation between these two oscillators. You can also go ahead and turn retrigger off on both of those. Your amplitude envelope is what really makes this sound. So you're going to have a pretty short attack, a fairly long decay to bring the overall amplitude down to a lower sustain, around 4 there. And I've got my release at 7, but that can really be based on your playing preference. If you just want to stab the chord and let the release finish the sound for you, or if you want to hold the chord out and have a shorter release, you can mess with that based on your preference. Over to our filter, the sound does have a low-pass filter on it that gives it that sound that you're looking for. So we've got a low-pass filter, 24 dBs per octave. I have it on filter AB, but we really only need it on A since we're just using our A oscillators here. Cutoff is at 252 Hertz according to Sylenth, with a pretty low resonance and a little bit of drive there. Onto our main filter, cutoff is just a little bit below default there at 132 Hertz with no resonance. An element that I like to add to a lot of my patches is a bit of pitch wobble. So go ahead and select your pitch there and then give it just a little bit of wobble. 0.19 is what I have mine at, with a rate of dotted 30-second notes and a little bit of gain. Don't go crazy with the gain because that will drastically change the sound of your patch. The wave shape I have on that LFO is just a sine wave. And lastly, for this one, there are a couple places in the track where the filter opens up a little bit and the patch gets a little brighter, so I've assigned my mod wheel to the cutoff. I've got that set to -3, and that'll help you to be able to open up that sound a little bit. The effects that I have on it for EQ don't have any added low end. I added a little bit of treble around 3500 Hertz according to Sylenth, to have that sound that's very present, but it isn't harsh or anything like that. Delay is a very integral part of this sound as well. We've got quarter note delay at 136 BPM. We're taking out some of the very low end with our low cut there and taking out some of the high end to give it a filtered delay sound. Don't have it on ping pong. Feedback is about 60%. You can mess with that to your preference based on the velocity that you're playing at. Full width at 100% and about a 55% mix. The stock reverb in Sylenth is actually great for this patch in particular. I've got size and width pretty much pinned out. Size is at 8.5 and width is all the way at 100% with about a 50% mix there and just a little bit of pre-delay. Alright, so that's the patch in Sylenth. I do have a couple of effects in Logic here on the actual sound. I have a very basic EQ, just cutting out some of the low end and removing a little bit of the low mid mud with a touch of presence boost around 1000 Hertz, but that's got a really wide Q, so that stretches all the way up here as well. I then have it bust to a bit of a shimmer verb, and that shimmer verb was created using Silver Verb, Logic's stock reverb plugin. And let me pull up this EQ as well. So in Silver Verb, the reflectivity and the size are going to be your two big ones there. 90% reflectivity, that's almost all the way up, and size at 92. And then I've cut out some of the low end of that reverb so it doesn't interfere with the actual patch. And I've actually extended the high end so that we get that nice top end on the shimmer there. And then I've brought out a little bit of the low end in an EQ after that reverb. So those are all the effects that I have going on there. Once again, this is what your final sound is going to sound like. Alright guys, like and subscribe. I will be making a handful more of Sylenth patch tutorial videos. So if there's a patch or a sound that you'd like to know how to make, go ahead and put it in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video for that.